Hello and welcome to this episode of Getting to Know Pflugerville. My name is Kene Mba. I'm a real estate professional with NuView Realty Group, where we help our buyer clients buy into the home of their dreams and our seller clients sell their homes to move their equity elsewhere. Today, we have the pleasure of welcoming to the show Mitch Figert. Mitch is the owner-operator of RNG Mobile Laser Tag out here in the Austin, Pflugerville area. They are mobile laser tags, so they're pretty much around the entire Austin area. So it's not just Pflugerville, it's Georgetown, Round Rock, pretty much anywhere in North Austin and Austin, they can come by your location and help you have some extra fun, team building, bonding experience with family, friends. I'm just going to let Mitch talk a lot more about his company. Welcome, Mitch.
How's it going?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good. So tell me, Mitch, tell our listeners describe your business to us.
Well, it's pretty straightforward. Laser tag, is the first part about it. Everyone's played it, a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yep.
How we make it interesting is first, we come to you.
Okay.
So we set up, private laser tag parties for anyone interested. And there's a lot of different parties that it can work for. But we don't have a specific location anywhere in the Austin area. So what we do is we come to a neighborhood near you, or your business location, or public park, wherever you'd like to hold the party. So that's the first thing. That's why it's called RNG Mobile Laser Tag. Is we can set it up basically anywhere. The next bit about it is the equipment in of itself is not your run-of-the-mill bought at Walmart or Target type thing. This is pretty intense technology. These taggers have have range out to 800 meters. They'll have it's no joke. You point, you'll hit whatever you're aiming at. If you have good aim, that's the thing.
That's right.
Yeah, and to help with that, each tagger's outfitted with a red dot sight, same type of optics that we were using, in the early 2000s, military. So you can play day or night, and so there's that. And then the last thing that we try, that makes us pretty original as far as our laser tag operation is that for team building and other events, we mix in a lot of escape room elements with the laser tag.
Yeah,
and I'm sure
I was reading about that
more in depth later, but that's our original. That's our our original idea, and it's definitely something that no one's ever done or experienced really. And so what we refer to it as escape tag. It's part escape room and part laser tag, and so that's what we bring to the table as far as running gun laser tag.
That's cool. So tell me, you said you guys do this daytime, nighttime. At night, do you guys provide like night vision goggles, stuff like that, or I have to come with mine?
So it's all, I have the equipment right here, so you can kind of see it right here. This is what it looks like.
Okay,
boom. So when one is playing at nighttime, there's a lot of sensory help with the actual equipment that can help you locate, the enemy team and aim better. So like as you can see, like right here, there's a muzzle blast every time you fire off a laser. So that's really helpful during the nighttime when it's dark and whatnot. And then you have your optics right here, and it gives you a red dot or a green dot. So whenever you're, running around, you get behind some cover and you're seeing, if you're on the red team, you start seeing those blue muzzle flashes. That's where you're going to start aiming. And then as you start hitting somebody, there's sensors around their heads and on their, on their tagger start going off in light. So you're actually, hitting something while you're aiming in the dark.
I mean, I like the fact that because you guys are mobile, you kind of work with whatever location your client is. So if they
Yes.
have a neighborhood park, public park, their backyard, if it's big enough, I guess the bigger the space, the better.
I mean, yeah, to a certain degree, what we like to tell people is like, yeah, you need space, but you really don't need a ton of space as well. Yes, the taggers will reach out, farther than, an 800-meter space is not necessary whatsoever. Yeah. And you don't really want a huge space because then, to be totally honest, you're going to be doing more running than gunning.
It's going to feel like a paintball game soon enough if you have too much space.
Yeah, you'll run out of energy real quick if the playing area is too big. And then also, if it's too big, there's just not a lot of opportunities to engage with everybody. Right. We don't want to go too big. So backyards. Most backyards will work, especially if it's, for a younger kid's birthday party. I like to say if it's, for a backyard situation, if your kids can run from one side of your backyard to the other, like within like a 10-second period, it's perfect size. And then we do like public parks, for a lot of church activities. We just do it right there in their parking lot.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I was looking at some of the stuff you guys have on Facebook, and I saw like some obstacles in one of the videos. Do you guys provide those obstacles like
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we provide we'll bring up, depending on the group size, from like, if it's a smaller group, we'll provide, enough obstacles for the group to hide behind, but like we can bring upwards of like 30 to 40 barriers to set up and, turn an area really into the battlefield, as we call it. I mean, absolutely, the more trees, more bushes, the better. Because it gets weed through. When we do it in parking lots, I always, I'll always ask if anybody wants to bring in their vehicles, in the playing area, because it's just like, the variety of the barriers really does change the gameplay. So if it's just my barriers, it'll work out just fine. But I'm always looking for a place that will add variety to the game, to the battlefield and the gameplay itself.
Okay, sounds good. So tell us, how did you get started?
Well, the equipment that I just showed, I actually came across it when I myself was in the military.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
No problem. Thanks. But we came across it, and I was an infantry officer, and we came across this equipment. Usually we use this old 1970s. It's just awful. It's really bad stuff. But this equipment had the manufacturer had a contract, and we were testing it for him, and it just turned and this was years before I purchased it as a civilian. But I just remember it was so fun. And infantry training can be fun, but it's never should be that fun. It was so realistic. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can go over as far as the equipment that made it just so realistic. For one, even if someone's shooting at you but barely missing you, it picks up on that infrared light, and it sends it. It makes the equipment will make a different sound of someone barely missing you than when you're getting hit. And so that was amazing. Like that just made some good training connections in my soldiers' minds. Like, hey, if I'm hearing this sound, I need to take cover because someone is shooting at me. And so I remember talking to the guy, the manufacturer, and I was like, that was amazing. Can I get your number? And every year I call him up and I'm like, can you sell them? Can you sell them? And he couldn't. He was under contract. And then finally, 2018, I had already left, transitioned out of the military. I was talking, called him up, once a year, and I was, called him up in 2018. I'm like, hey,
I'm out.
Can you do it? Yep, we're good to go. I'm like, done. So, I, purchased, a set of the taggers. Along with it came, the optics and whatnot, and we're off to the running. So that's how I came across with the equipment. The genesis of run and gun though has been, long in coming. There's just I loved that laser tag vibe, and whenever we'd have family come in to come visit whatnot, it was always something I looked for. I'm like, that's a really fun family activity for us that we would always do, like growing up. And so I always looked for it somewhere in Austin. It just wasn't available. There was like a few like kind of rundown places, downtown and everything, and I just like, that was too far of a drive, or just didn't look good enough, or it was expensive. A lot of money for like a 15-minute game. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. So I started seeing that there was like definitely a gap in service that I could occupy.
And I could take on
advantage of that. Yeah, exactly. But then at the same time, just as a hobby, but also as a side hustle, I wanted to be profitable, like right off the bat. And so, buying some farmland here in Texas just wasn't making it super profitable in the time frame that I would be. And so, this was working it out with my wife, who's, my business partner, and, my soundboard to bounce off.
Yeah.
And she, her and I were just like, let's just do it mobile.
Yeah.
And let's just do it that way. And I mean, that was the kickoff. And so that's how it started.
That's good. Okay. So Mitch, tell us, what do your customers really love about what you guys do?
I mean, the first thing is just the gameplay itself. I mean, this equipment is like a dream come true, as far as just being able to get out there and like, run and gun. Like we say, like I love it when we brief for at the start of a party, usually with a laser tag thing, when you're inside, it's like, don't don't run, walk everywhere. Don't yell and scream and everything. And it's like, that's like the antithesis of what a laser tag game's supposed to be. So I like to say like, hey, you better be running, you better be screaming. And like, that's the thing I love, is that the way that we build these games, especially the escape tag, is that it's just not a chaos, like run around, hey, I shot you, you shot me, like it's teamwork. And the team that figure that out, and how to, shoot, move, and communicate together, are the teams that win every time. Okay. And so like that, along with just that vibe that, like with the sounds and everything, like you feel like you're in kind of like a video game, and it really does immerse you with the sounds and working with your team, and, just the hustle, the running and the gunning, like it really immerses you, and it puts you in a state of mind that you just don't get to often. That's what I really love about it. It's like, I mean, you see, the parents will kind of like sit out the first round watching their kids play, and they're like, I need to get in on this. But they don't stay out long. And they get in there, and it's just like, it's so funny, because you just see like moms and dads, and I like everybody, like moms, dads, grandmas, and they just get after it, and like everyone just becomes like, I don't want to say like kids, because I mean, you are running around shooting each other, but like it takes everybody to this like super fun level that they love. So like, I mean, just the experience is something that it's really memory making. I don't want to get too sentimental about it, but it really does, especially like at the end of our games, usually for birthdays. We'll bring, usually, parents from all the other kids that get invited, are hanging out, or coming to pick up their kids. And that's when I ask, hey, do you guys want to do kids versus parents? Oh. And that is great. And it's just, I'll give the parents a marked advantage, with the laser tag settings. Yeah. Because you gotta maintain your position of power, your respect as a parent. That's right. And besides, the parents are paying for this anyways. Yeah, exactly. So it's it's super great. And then that's the number one thing. But also like we could set up anywhere. So you don't have to, like for birthday parties, like now you don't have to drive further than 5 minutes really, like to, either it's in the backyard or it's like at the park and whatnot. For corporate team building, I mean, more often than not, we're doing it at the team's headquarters. And so they don't have to, go anywhere. And so like, especially during the summer here, like it's so hot, except like it'll cool down a little bit at night. And so like, that's when, a lot of, businesses will like, hey, like everyone just, take an early day, get off at like, 2 or 3, then come back here around 7 or 8, and we'll do, team building and, bring your wife, whatever, bring your husband and, do it that way. It's a real good time. So like that ability to set up anywhere is really super helpful. And, what, customers really like. And, so those are our 2 highlights, I would say.
Okay. So, considering you guys move around a lot, you might have some odd requests. I'm thinking that some of your clients will ask for. Are there any odd requests that stand out for you?
I mean, I'll be honest, not necessarily, because we're so new in this area. Like the idea of like, oh, hey, you can come and set up laser tag at our place. Like usually they're just like, can you do that? Like initially there's quite a few times where we just get asked like, oh, so where's your location? Like wherever you want to be, so like I think reality is a little bit weirder than people's imagination at this point. But I mean, probably one of the more, I don't even want to say odd, but like humorous, like requests. Like I said, it could be like at a kid's birthday, but we did a few weeks back, this corporate team building. And it's funny because they like actually split the teams up by like the divisions at the company. So like they had the engineering team, they had the accounting team. And what was super hilarious was that the C-suite, like the CFO, CEO, when they showed up with C-suite shirts. It was the white tee that said C-suite, and and so it's hilarious. So they showed up like that, but like I think it was the CFO. I think it was. He like takes me off the side. He's like, so hey man, just so you know, like, we're the ones that approved this, so you might as well just
we don't want to lose.
Well, he's like, just hook us up a little bit, like he's like, we don't want to lose to all these young guys. And obviously like there was like teams of 6, and like they were like 4 gentlemen, 2 ladies, and like they were like, we just want to be running around a lot, but we still want to win. So just hook us up. So like, I might have turned the laser tag, that when they came onto the onto the playing field, their lasers might have been a little bit more powerful,
a lot more accurate, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it's always the same accuracy because it's
I see.
But like, so, but that was, we get that all the time, like, or like dads will, dads will come up and be like, hey, like when we play against the kids, can I have 2 laser tag guns? Like dual wield, kind of thing. And it's like, yeah. Go, go right ahead. Whoever's
playing the bills dictates how it goes.
Yeah. But I mean, like, so like, that's, I mean, like, as far as like, weird requests, I wouldn't call that weird at all, but those always like, oh yeah, don't worry, I got you,
Okay. So, what are your greatest challenges that you guys have faced so far? Especially since maybe COVID and or after COVID.
I'd say, before we even got into the COVID thing, it was figuring out this barrier situation, how to, fit all the barriers inside my truck that I would need to, make a legitimately good, battlefield. And, was that, that was tough, but it was so fun. It was so fun just to noodle on it and just test stuff out and everything, and just come up with, different types of barriers, that like check some boxes, but didn't check other, like, oh, this is really good, but this is a fantastic barrier, but there's a 1 hour wind gust, the thing's going to fall over. Okay. So what if we weigh it down? Okay, but then like now I don't have any room because I'm all, my whole truck's filled with sandbags, kind of thing. So the the tic tac, back and forth over the last 2 years has been tough, but really
you only get better though.
Yeah, and like like the setup, every time I load up, I'll be honest, every time I load up to head out for an event, I just look at them like, oh, this looks good. I'm so happy, like this is it. Like I could fit so much, and everything like, collapses and fits so well. So I love that. But with COVID, it was pretty hilarious because we were still, like what you see on my Facebook and Instagram, my social media now, like we got tons of gameplay content that I can show people. Like if you're looking at it, this is how it looks. Like this is fun. But initially we didn't have a ton starting off, and like we would I would just call up like all my friends, and or like when we'd have family and whatnot over, we just play, and I'd try to use that everything. But we're so like unproven, and essentially. And so, we would get, some, this event, a little bit by little bit. But we finally got locked in with the Country Outlaw Music Festival in Round Rock. We were going to be, traction there. And essentially, like we would set it up, and, people would pay, pay $3 and play for 10 minutes kind of a thing. And, we were super excited about it. It's going to be, the country festival, Round Rock, like there's going to be tons of people there. It just so happened that was the weekend that the quarantine hit,
Oh, man.
And it was so funny because like the first day was Friday and we had tons of people and we're like, this is great, awesome. And then like, I think what had happened was there was a whole bunch of reported deaths at a senior house, senior
close by
living field, up in Seattle, and that's where it was in March, in 2020.
Ouch. Yeah.
And it was that same weekend, and so Saturday, nothing. Like there was barely people, barely anybody there.
And that was the same time they canceled ACL, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so we were like, okay, and like we were super unsure because we were like, should we even be running this? Like, are we super spreaders? Kind of a thing. And like nobody was there except for like the musical acts, like parents, like who came to the show and watch it. And then at some point, and like, it was rough, like, cause like this was supposed to be our big, huge opening to the public, but nobody was there. So we were kind of bummed about it. But the festival manager, he was having a rough time. And I remember he got up like on the stage and just went on this huge rant for like 10 minutes. And my wife was like, we're done, we're getting out of here.
I mean, I feel his pain. You spend a year getting ready for this stuff, and
he was having a much worse day. Yeah. And so like after that, we packed it up, and obviously there was nothing going on up until kind of like August. February, March of this year.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, and so then it's it's picked up a lot. Picked up back even pre-COVID. Mostly because like you want to get out. It's a fantastic. I mean, like as far as social distancing, you're outside, and these taggers can reach farther than you'll ever need. So like it's really the as far as like an entertaining activity is probably the safest activity ever. In this situation. Yeah. And so like that's been happening. And also, like we've just been, we've been able to figure out how to get our name out a lot more than we were before. So that's been helpful.
Social media, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. And figure like my 9 to 5, I'm in supply chain management. I know nothing, or I knew nothing about social media marketing. And so it's been a very fall on my face, figure it out kind of thing. Like, I've got this great video, let's post it. Cool, 20 people have seen it in the last 2 days. Figuring out how to get it out, and all the tricks to the trade has been not my favorite thing to do, but it's definitely necessary. So you got to do it.
Yep. Okay, so is there, I mean, in summertime, we probably have like a month and a week left in the summer.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything exciting for your customers, new sign-on, stuff like that coming up?
Yeah. So, I mean, what I'm really looking forward to this year is once we start getting into the holiday season. We've got some pretty exciting setup. That, I mean, I like one of my favorite and much debated Christmas movies is the Die Hard trilogy. The first two Die Hards. Is it a Christmas movie? Is it not? I love it, and I only watch it during Christmas as just part of like a
Christmas tradition for you.
A time treasured tradition for my wife and I.
Okay.
So we've developed, and we've worked hard on it. But we've developed a complete retelling
remake
of the first Die Hard, plot line through our skate tag event.
Okay.
And so I'm really excited about that. Like if there's something I could just you got family coming in for the the events. Like, I mean, just call us up and get that get that locked down, because I mean like fall and Thanksgiving and Christmas time in Texas. Besides last year with that crazy snowstorm.
Yeah.
It's not a better time. Like it'll finally be cool. You don't feel like you're running through a wet wool blanket.
Yep.
But like you need to, when you got family coming in, you're living on top of each other. You need to get out, and there's no better way.
You need to get out and make it fun for them, make it fun for you.
Yeah, and also just release some aggression. I mean, like
That's
I don't care who you are. There's going to be some family stress when you got everybody living on top of each other, and nothing can make you get that exercise that stress than shooting lasers at each other. So yeah,
and
that's
then
what
you
I'm
can go.
excited about. That's the big that's our big fall excitement coming up.
Okay, that's good. So I know you guys on Facebook, you guys have a website. What are the best ways to reach you to set this up?
I mean, like you can, when you get on our website, you can instant message us there. You can direct message us off of Instagram, off of Facebook. Those are really the best ways. Those are really the only ways that people do. I mean, you could reserve an event right off of our website, no problem.
Okay.
But like I said, we're just such a new and original idea for people that and I don't blame anybody. They want to discuss it first.
Yeah.
What is going on? Where can we do this? Like how many people can we have? So, and I am more than happy to have those. I'm ecstatic to have those conversations with people. So, DM us off of any of our social media, also including Yelp. We get a lot of conversations started that way. So any direct message, and you'll be talking straight to me, and we'll first we'll determine like what kind of event are you looking for? Is this just your basic birthday, or is this like a corporate team building where you want to bring in that escape tag vibe to it? How many people are going to be there, and what neighborhood you live in, or where do you want what kind of neighborhood what neighborhood do you want this event to take place? You let me know, and then we start working it out. Do you have a location picked out? If not, I know I've been everywhere.
Yeah.
I know all the green belts, all the parks, this, that, and the other. So and that's how the conversation develops until, hey, we know it's going to be this date, this place. You're bringing, approximately this many people. Sweet. Planning, your end of the planning is done. You worry about, making sure your kid has the best birthday, or that your employees are, ready to rock, and I take care of the rest.
I mean, I know it might sound novel to some people, but I think this is going to be pretty exciting, especially as the fall kicks in. And I'm going to be posting this not just on the Park Bench Pflugerville website, but also in our neighborhood Facebook page. Because out here in Pflugerville, out here in Pflugerville, lots of neighborhoods have like really awesome Facebook pages, and then they do lots of community events. And this would be like a really good community bonding exercise.
It builds the relationships. Like one of our taglines, like I don't mean to be cheesy in the sense of like using one of our taglines, but like, and this is more for the corporate side, but like it turns team members into teammates. Like there is something like it's cheesy, it's corny, but like when you get out there and like you're running, from one barrier, from one tree to the next, and you're looking over and you see, your neighbor, from like two houses down, and you're like, hey, cover me while I move. And you see like, bust down, and you make it there, and you guys are hopping together. Relationships are formed there that would take years to break, to break down those barriers, to build up that kind of friendship where like,
that's right.
That trust is formed. Like, hey, that guy was on my team and we worked well together. Or, she and I, assaulted the enemy bunker, together. Like, remember that, kind of a thing. Like relationships are strengthened, started or strengthened or just reinforced.
That's right.
While playing. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, Mitch.
Absolutely, no problem, Kene.
Yeah. Again, we've had Mitch of Run and Gun Mobile Laser Tag today on the show, Getting to Know Pflugerville. My name again is Kene Mba. I'm a real estate broker and owner of NuView Realty Group. If you guys have real estate needs, you know where to come to, either in Pflugerville or anywhere within the North Austin area. Thanks again for coming to us, sharing with us today, Mitch.
No, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, folks, thank you.